I don't care what you do. I'm Ryan, I do insurance. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. This is an example of what not to do when networking. Take a moment to think, how do you feel about mingling with total strangers? A lot of people find the idea of that very uncomfortable and awkward, trying to think of what to say and how to approach someone that you don't know. For this topic that I researched, I read many articles, and the different gurus whose articles I read all have many ideas and different unique suggestions and words that you can say in order to strike conversation. But there are definitely things that underpin all of them and bring them together, ideas that they all agree on, an etiquette for chit-chat. The definition for etiquette, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is the conduct or procedure required by good breeding or prescribed by authority to be observed in social or official life. Again, the conduct or procedure prescribed by authority. So think about that. There are specific rules and guidelines for you to follow that help make networking and mingling and chit-chat with strangers much easier. I'm going to share with you these rules and guidelines. They generally fall into three categories, and chronologically they are introductions, during the conversation, and then exiting the conversation. Introductions begins even before the first word that you say to your conversation partner. It includes things such as preparation. For example, many of the articles talk about a 30-second elevator pitch in which you introduce yourself, your name, but also add something about yourself that's interesting that you can potentially talk about. Ideally something that's relevant potentially to the event that you're in. For example, if you're in an alumni mixer, you can simply talk about what you majored in and what year you graduated. If you're at a business mixer, you can talk about what you do for work and what company you work for. There are lots of different things that you can talk about and add into your elevator pitch. Another aspect of preparation is the name tag, which you also put on once you get into the event, which most of the time you will be offered. Many of the different gurus have a very common opinion about this. According to Diane Gottsman, who's a writer for Verily magazine, also Kimberly Law, a blogger on personalimpact.ca, and Liz Taylor from etiquetteprinciples.com, they all say to put the name tag at the upper right-hand side of your body, near your right-hand shoulder, because that's naturally where your body orients itself when you're shaking the person's hand, and your eyes kind of go toward that direction. And generally, we all shake with our right hands and turn in that direction. Now, imagine that you're in a room full of people that you don't know. How do you start? Where do you go? How about the person standing at the wall, standing by himself, looking awkward, perhaps feeling uncomfortable just like yourself? This is perhaps the most easy and direct person that you can approach, actually. Just walk straight up to the person, make eye contact and smile, and offer your hand for a handshake, and start with, "Hi, my name is," and then offer your full name. "My name is Ryan Cho." And generally speaking, that's followed by the person offering you their name, at which point you should immediately repeat the name and try to use it in the conversation that ensues in order for you to commit that name to memory, because you want to try to remember their name, obviously. Another area that you can strike conversation is in the buffet line, assuming there's food there. You can easily talk to the person standing right next to you and comment about something a mutually shared experience, as easy as the food selection. Now, you have your food, and you've gotten your drink, and you look around, and you suddenly notice that everyone in the room has clustered up into different groups of people, and they're all in groups now. The etiquette of chit-chat even addresses how to join a group conversation. According to Catherine Meeks, who's a writer for the Toastmasters magazine in the November 2006 issue, you have your food in one hand and your other hand ready, open to shake a hand. You stand non-committally at the periphery of a group, and you occupy yourself with your food or your drink, and you listen in on what they're saying. And if it is a private and closed conversation, you should be able to tell right away, in which case you should move on and not try to interrupt them. But if it's something they're talking about some general topic, then, and if you have something to say, then wait for a moment of silence, and then you can add in your comment. And that's how you join in, and then eventually, once you're part of the conversation, make sure to formally introduce yourself and to get the names of the other people to whom you're speaking. Now imagine you're in a conversation with another person. What should you talk about? It's important to try to find things that the two of you share in common, but be it maybe you both went to the same college, or you both work in the same industry, or you both grew up in the same area. But if you're not able to find something to connect with the person like that, you can always fall back on something more common that's shared by everybody, such as, like I mentioned earlier, the food selection, or the evening's lineup of speakers, or the entertainment or the decor at the location, or even the traffic that you had to sit through in order to get to the event. Those are always things that you can fall back on. All of the gurus agree, if you're at a business mixer, you should not try to sell at the mixer. It's okay for you to be there trying to gain business prospects or potential clients. But in order to do that, you have to do it through developing a strong relationship with the people whom you meet, and not by being selfish and talking about yourself and what you have to offer the whole time. According to Deborah Gottsman, she proposes a 60-40 ratio, 60% of the time listening to the other person and 40% of the time doing the talking and asking questions. Another thing is just generally always just to focus on what the other person is talking to. Now that you've already been talking to the person for a few minutes, you should think about how to appropriately exit from the conversation. It's very important to be cognizant and mindful of the other person's body language if they are trying to disengage, obviously. Generally, the rule of thumb that most of the articles state is about 5 minutes per person, but of course you don't have to follow that. If you're both very engaged in an interesting conversation, it's okay to extend the time of it, but just be very respectful of the other person's time, because obviously the object of the mixer is to mingle with multiple different people, and you should not just should not hold the person hostage. The importance of networking is obviously extremely important. According to BH Careers International, 80% of jobs in the world, or maybe in the US, are not posted online or in classifieds. And according to the people that they surveyed, 60% of them said that the jobs that they have currently were obtained through networking. The next time that you're at any sort of social mixer or party, just keep the etiquette of chit-chat in mind, and your ability to meet quality new friends and valuable new contacts will become indomitable. Thank you, Mr. Jones.